Welcome back to Talking African Tales, home of beautiful African stories. This is part 2 of Ashawo Pays My Bills in her own way. After 3 months of talking every day, Chukwudi said something that changed everything. Precious, I want to help you. I know what you do for a living. I'm not judging you, but I believe you can have a different life. Let me help you. How? Stop going with men. I'll send you money every month. Not for anything, just to help you. Use it to rent a better place if you want. Buy better things. Maybe think about what you want to do with your life. Precious couldn't believe it. Why would you do this? Because I can. Because when my father was struggling, someone helped him. He always told me, when you have, give to those who don't have. So I'm giving. No conditions. No strings attached. Precious cried on the phone. I don't deserve this. Everyone deserves kindness, Chukwudi said. True to his word, Chukwudi started sending 50,000 naira every month. For Precocious, who used to wash plates for 200 naira a day, this was a miracle. She stopped going with men. At first, it was hard. She had nightmares. Her body had trauma from the years of that life. But slowly, she started healing. She bought better clothes, not the tight, revealing clothes she used to wear, but decent, comfortable clothes. She stopped wearing heavy makeup. She let her natural beauty show. The compound noticed the change. Mama Ejike said, maybe that rich man is paying her well. That's why she's not on the streets anymore. They didn't know the truth. They thought Chukwudi was sleeping with her, but they were wrong. Chukwudi visited Benin City once a month. He would spend time with Precious, take her to restaurants, show her a different kind of life. But he never touched her inappropriately. He treated her with respect. One day, Precious asked him, why are you so kind to me? I've been with so many men. I'm not pure. I'm not educated. What do you see in me? Chukwudi looked at her seriously. I see someone who survived. I see someone who lost everything but didn't lose her humanity. You could have become bitter, mean, wicked, but you're still kind inside. That's what I see. 6 months passed. Then one evening, Chukwudi came to Benin City and asked Precious to meet him at a nice restaurant. When they sat down, he held her hands across the table. Precious, these 6 months of knowing you have been the best months of my life. In Canada, in Lagos, I've met many educated women from wealthy families. But none of them have the strength, the resilience, the genuine heart that you have. What are you saying? Precious whispered, her heart beating fast. I'm saying I love you. I know your past. I know everything. But I don't care. Your past does not define you. I want to marry you. I want to spend my life with you. Precious pulled her hands away, tears streaming down her face. You don't know everything. I've done terrible things. I've been with so many men I can't even count. I have no education, no family, nothing. Your family will never accept me. People will mock you. They'll say you married a prostitute. Let them say what they want, Chukwudi said firmly. I'm not marrying you for them. I'm marrying you for us. I've never met anyone more deserving of love than you. You've been treated badly by life, by people. I want to spend the rest of my life treating you the way you should have been treated all along. But I have nothing to offer you. You have yourself. That's everything. Precious covered her face and cried. Yes, she finally said. Yes, I will marry you. The wedding that shocked Benin City. When news spread through number 14 compound and the surrounding area that Precious was getting married, and not just to anyone, but to the rich landlord from Lagos, the city went crazy with gossip. It's impossible. Mama Ejike said at the market. What kind of man marries a prostitute? She must have used juju, Madame Beatrice declared. There's no other explanation. She has tied that man with African magic. I heard she's pregnant, another woman added. That's why he's marrying her. He probably got her pregnant and has to marry her. The gossip spread like wildfire. Everyone had an opinion, but nobody could change what was happening. Chukwudi came to Benin City with his friends and did a proper traditional introduction. Since Precious had no family, Papa Ejike stood in as her father. When Chukwudi asked him, Papa Ejike cried. I'm honored, Papa Ejike said. This girl has suffered. I'm happy someone finally sees her value. The bride price was paid. Everything was done properly and traditionally. Then came the wedding day. Chukwudi rented a beautiful church in Benin City. He invited everyone, even the tenants who had mocked Precocious. He wanted the whole city to see that he was proud to marry her. On the wedding morning, Precocious looked at herself in the mirror. She was wearing a beautiful white wedding dress. Her hair was styled elegantly. Her makeup was done perfectly. Not the harsh street makeup, but gentle makeup that showed her natural beauty. She looked at the dress and tears filled her eyes. "I don't deserve to wear white," she whispered to the woman helping her dress. "Every bride deserves to wear white," the woman said kindly. "White represents new beginnings. Today is your new beginning." But as Precocious prepared to go to church, she did something that nobody expected. She carefully folded her father's old Keek driver uniform, the same uniform she had held onto for 11 years, and put it in her bag. At the church, people were already seated. Mama Ejike was there with her daughters Obiageli and Ifema. Madam Beatrice was there. Brother Tony. All the compound tenants. Many people from the neighborhood who had heard about the prostitute's wedding and came to see it with their own eyes. Some came to genuinely celebrate. Many came to gossip. When the music started and Precocious began walking down the aisle, the church went silent. She looked like a queen. The thin, rough street girl was gone. In her place was a beautiful woman glowing with happiness and hope. But in her hands, instead of just a bouquet, she was also holding her father's folded uniform. People whispered, "What is she carrying? Is that an old cloth?" As she walked down the aisle, Precocious saw all the faces that had mocked her, insulted her, called her useless. Some of them looked ashamed now. Some still looked judgmental. But she also saw Papa Ejike sitting in the front row with his daughter Ngozi. He was crying with joy. She saw the kindness in his face and smiled at him. When she reached the altar, Chukwudi was waiting. The love in his eyes was so clear, so genuine, that some women in the congregation who had planned to mock the wedding found tears in their own eyes instead. The pastor began the ceremony. He gave a powerful sermon. "Today, we are witnessing what mercy looks like," the pastor said. "This young woman has a past. We all know it. She has not hidden it. But her past does not define her future. God's grace is bigger than anyone's past." Some people in the congregation looked uncomfortable. The sermon felt like it was calling them out. "How many of you," the pastor continued, "have judged this woman? How many of you have called her worthless, useless? But I ask you, when she was 11 years old and her father died, how many of you helped her? When she was thrown into the streets, how many of you gave her shelter? When she was washing plates for 200 naira a day, how many of you offered her a better job?" The church was completely silent. It's easy to judge. It's easy to mock. But where were you when she needed help? This man, he pointed at Chukwudi. He saw her humanity when everyone else saw only her mistakes. That is love. That is Christ-like love. When the pastor said, "You may kiss your bride," Chukwudi lifted Precious's veil and kissed her gently. The whole church erupted in applause. Even Mama Ejike, who had sworn she would never clap for that prostitute, found her hands clapping automatically. Something about the beauty of the moment, the genuine love between them, moved even the hardest hearts. After the ceremony, at the reception, Chukwudi made a speech that brought many people to tears. "My father was a Keek driver," he began. "People looked down on him, said he would never be anything, but he proved them wrong. He always told me, 'Chukwudi, never judge people by where they are now. You don't know what life has done to them.'" He looked at Precocious with so much love. "My wife lost her mother when she was 3 months old, lost her father when she was 11. She survived things that would have killed many people. She did what she had to do to survive. And despite everything, she kept a good heart. That is strength. That is courage. I am honored to be her husband." Precocious stood up, holding her father's uniform. Many people were confused about why she had brought an old cloth to her wedding. "This," she said, her voice shaking with emotion, "was my father's uniform. When he died, I had nothing left of him but this uniform and 3,847 Nigerian nairas in a savings tin. My father was saving money for my school fees. He wanted me to be educated, to be somebody." Tears rolled down her face. Papa, I didn't finish school. I didn't become the nurse I wanted to be. I became something else. Something you would not be proud of. But today, Papa, wherever you are, I want you to know, I survived. And I found someone who loves me not despite my past, but knowing all of it. I hope I've made you proud by surviving. There was not a dry eye in the reception hall. Even Mama Ejike was crying. Even Madame Beatrice was wiping tears. The new life. Precious moved to Lagos with her husband. They lived in a beautiful house in Lekki, one of the most expensive areas in Lagos. For the first few months, Precious would wake up thinking it was a dream. She would see the big bedroom, the soft bed, the beautiful furniture, and think, this cannot be real. Chukwudi was patient with her. He understood that healing takes time. He enrolled her in adult education classes. At first, Precious was scared. I stopped school in primary 5. I've forgotten everything. You haven't forgotten, Chukwudi encouraged. Your teacher said you were intelligent. That intelligence is still there. He was right. Once Precious started studying again, everything came back. She was still sharp. Within 1 year, she completed her primary education certificate. Then she went for secondary school classes. Her teacher, Mrs. Adeyemi, was impressed. You learn very fast. Why did you stop school? Life happened, Precious said simply. She didn't share her full story. While studying, Chukwudi also set up a business for her, a boutique where she sold women's clothes and accessories. Precious worked hard at the business. She remembered what suffering felt like, so she appreciated everything she had. The boutique did very well. Precious had good business sense. Within 2 years, she opened a second branch, then a third. But Precious never forgot where she came from. 3 years after her wedding, Precious and Chukwudi returned to Benin City. But they didn't just come to visit. They came with a plan. They opened a free vocational training center for young girls who had dropped out of school or who were suffering on the streets. The center taught skills like sewing, hairdressing, catering, and computer basics. On the opening day, Precious stood in front of the first group of 30 girls. She looked at their faces full of pain, hopelessness, the same kind of pain she used to carry. I know what brought you here, she said. I know what it feels like to have nobody. I know what it feels like when people call you useless. I know what it feels like to do things you're not proud of just to survive. The girls looked at her with surprise. This rich, well-dressed woman understood them. Yes, Precious said, reading their faces. I used to be where you are. 6 years ago, I was living in a one-room in a compound where everyone mocked me. I was doing things I'm not proud of to pay my rent. But my life changed because someone showed me kindness. Today, I want to be that person for you. Many of the girls started crying. They had expected judgment. Instead, they found understanding. The center became very successful. Dozens of girls came through the program. Some learned skills and started small businesses. Some found good jobs. Some even went back to school. And Precious was there every step, encouraging them, believing in them, giving them the second chance she had received. The former mockers. One day, Precious was at her center in Benin City when 2 women walked in nervously. She looked up and recognized them immediately. Obiajeli and Ifema, Mama Ejike's daughters. These were the same girls who used to look at her with disgust. The same girls who felt superior because they were going to school. But now, they looked different. Tired. Struggling. Their clothes were worn. Good afternoon, Obiajeli said quietly. We heard about your training center. Good afternoon. Please sit. They sat down, looking uncomfortable. We came to apologize, Ifema said, looking at the ground. For how we treated you before. We were wrong. And to ask, Obiajeli continued, if maybe you have any job opportunities. We both graduated from university. Obiajeli studied accounting. I studied nursing. But we can't find jobs. It's been 3 years. Our CVs are everywhere but nobody is calling us. Precious looked at them. She could choose to be bitter, to remind them of how they mocked her, to pay them back for their cruelty. But she remembered what Chukwudi always told her, hurt people, but heal people. I have something better than a job here in Benin, Precious said. My boutiques in Lagos need staff. Sales girls, managers, accountants. If you're willing to work hard, I can employ you." The sisters looked at each other in shock. After everything, she was helping them, but Obiageli started. "I know," Precious interrupted gently. "You looked down on me. You thought you were better than me because you went to school. Life taught you that certificates don't guarantee anything. Now you understand. That's what matters." Both sisters broke down crying. "We're so sorry. We were so wrong." "I forgive you," Precious said simply. "I'm not giving you this opportunity because I'm better than you. I'm giving it because I remember how it feels to need help and have nobody help you. I'm giving you what I wish someone had given me." Obiageli and Ifema started working at Precious's boutiques in Lagos. They worked hard. They were grateful. They had learned humility the hard way. Other girls who had looked down on Precious also came, one by one, asking for help. Some needed jobs. Some needed business advice. Some just needed someone to believe in them. Precious helped them all. Mama Ejike came to visit Precious one day at the training center. She looked much older, more humble. "I came to thank you," Mama Ejike said, "for giving my daughters jobs when they had none, and to apologize. I was wicked to you. I used you as a bad example to my children, but you became a good example instead. You taught my daughters what I failed to teach them, that kindness is more important than pride." Precious hugged her. "Thank you for saying that. I forgive you." Madame Beatrice also came to apologize. So did Brother Tony. So did many others who had mocked her. Some of them, Precious forgave easily. Others took more time. But eventually, she forgave them all. Because she had learned something important. Bitterness would only poison her own heart. Forgiveness set her free. 5 years after her wedding, Precious and Chukwudi had 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. The full circle. 5 years after her wedding, Precious and Chukwudi had 3 children. On her 28th birthday, Precious did something special. She went back to number 14 Jerusalem Street compound. But she didn't go just to visit. She went with documents. She had bought the entire compound from Chukwudi. She gathered all the tenants in the compound yard. "I've bought this compound," she announced. "And I'm renovating it. New paint, new plumbing, new everything. Your rents will be reduced by half." The tenants were shocked and grateful. Some expected her to evict them as revenge. But she was doing the opposite. "I'm also building a community center here," she continued. "Free classes for children. Free training for women. Because this compound taught me something. That we all live face me, I face you. We see each other's lives. We can choose to mock each other, or we can choose to help each other." She looked at the wall where someone had spray painted Ashawo years ago. It was still faintly visible under layers of paint. "That word on that wall," she said, pointing, "I left it there for years because I wanted to remember. To remember what it felt like to be called worthless. Now I'm painting over it. Not to erase the past, but to show that we can paint over our mistakes, our pain, our judgments, and create something beautiful." The whole compound clapped. Many people were crying. Then Precious saw someone standing at the back. Papa Ejike. He was much older now, walking with a cane. But he was smiling. Precious walked over to him and hugged him tight. "Thank you," she whispered. "You were kind to me when everyone else was cruel. You defended me when I couldn't defend myself. I will never forget." Papa Ejike was crying. "I'm proud of you, my daughter. So proud." The message. Today, Precious is 30 years old. She owns 5 boutiques across Lagos. Her vocational training center in Benin City has trained over 200 girls. Many of those girls now have their own businesses. Some have gone back to school. Some have found good husbands. She completed her secondary education and even went to university part-time. She studied business administration. At her graduation, she held her father's uniform and cried. "I did it, Papa," she whispered to the sky. "I finished school. Finally." Her story spread across social media. Bloggers wrote about her. Churches used her story in sermons. Young girls sent her messages. "Your story gave me hope." But Precious remained humble. She never forgot where she came from. She tells everyone who will listen, "I was called worthless, useless, prostitute, Ashawo. Those words almost destroyed me. But one person saw me as human. One person showed me mercy. That changed everything. So I'm begging you, she would say at speaking events, stop mocking people. Stop judging people by their circumstances. You don't know what life has done to them. You don't know what they are surviving. Your mockery might be the last push that breaks them, but your kindness might be the thing that saves them. She would end by saying, the girl you call worthless today might be the woman you admire tomorrow. The person you look down on now might be the person you look up to later. Life is a circle. What goes around comes around. So choose kindness. Choose mercy. Choose to see people as human beings worthy of dignity, regardless of their past or present circumstances. And whenever she tells her story, she makes sure to end with this message. No condition is permanent. Your past does not define your future. One act of kindness can change a life. And most importantly, you are not what people call you. You are what you choose to become. This is the story of Precocious, the girl they called worthless, who became priceless. It is a story that reminds us that everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves kindness. Everyone deserves to be seen as a human being. May we all be like Chukwudi and Papa Ejike, people who choose to show mercy rather than judgment. And may we never be like those who mock and insult, because we never know when life might humble us and teach us that we are not so different from the people we look down on. The end. Thank you for watching C Masterpiece. Please click on your subscribe button and subscribe.